Yo. Yeah, and I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but his homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Alright, it's getting kinda dirty in these YouTube streets. The Amin Ra squad, God thinking you dudes weak. Islam or Judaism, where you learn what you dudes teach. The West African rappers slapping with that voodoo speech. All that sub-Saharan terror about a cuckoo feet. I'm like Norma, that agricultural farmer that grew you wheat for the storehouses. We feed the Hebrews and lead the people when we defeat the feeble. They wanna know polite rip me off, but Sonetta paid me my money though. That mean he 100. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Nubian with the Jews, I rock the pinky. I think Jesus got to save me. A doctor saved me, a Dr. Inky. I cop the copper jewels all blue and red. I'm not the chakra doctor y'all claim woke, but you in bed. You won't pop a chopper, you Grandmaster J. You just talking. Punks turn the other cheek and you will walk away. Y'all gon' have to pardon my Moorish. That's to Harker Bay. I'm on that black African power on my darkest day. And that's my brother Ankh stomping them other punks. We brought them gators to Italy, you loving the Moors. And now I'm teaching from my shrine like brother Jabari. Scoping the savannah cause I'm on another safari. Tasha K showed us Frank record. Young Pharaoh just losing his mind and y'all can't help him. I know one thing, you're a fool if you're still out here donating to Umar school. That shit cool. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but his homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Look. You showing your hidden colors like Tariq Nasheed. A bunch of pseudo-information I don't think I need. Probably lying on the text, act divine as Zion Lack. Just get that microphone ready. With Metal Netta, I'm Song Jetty. A Ujahu, a Saw Imhotep. Y'all probably timid still on them Bobby Hemming teachings. I'm in Gozy with the DNA. Cats corny and it's killing me too. You talk that black shit, but you look Arab like Gorilla Hebrew. You need therapy, they telling me just chillin', be cool. I'm a madjai orchard, you a sad guy talking. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Yo, what up, what up? Trying to get started, putting out some good vibes. Do our thing real quick. Shout out to you if you already watching the video. Click like. Go on and put a comment up in the chat. And let's chill.
I love you enough to tell you ain't ready to revolt shit. You don't feed yourself. You don't hunt your own animals and slaughter them. You don't prepare your own meat. You don't own your own land. You don't have a seed growing in your window. So you think about revolutionaryism, and you think about fighting and dying in the street, you ain't shit.
Killer Mike said black people ain't ready to revolt. It's a disparaging marriage and he ready to elope. Maritime coastline, deep V hull boat. Crack a nose turned up, machete to your throat. The divine snatched the arm back, she fine, she in Zinga. Moroccan mercenary got a line on Moringa. Ask Chief X to swing it. Go fund me to rock a new car or build a school like I'm Dr. Umar. Nah, go fund some more guns, banana clips and cannabis and bury it. The jackal, Anubis. I'm cool, keep them heaters and I'm in tie and an abyss. He ain't rapping due to libations, he just channeling this.
Hands down, you ain't ready to oppose nothing. You are as a part of this system as any white person gentrified.
I'm on life, hovercraft stuck between the careful and careless. It's hard to face it when you need a shrink or a therapist. Mental disorder ordered them to label you a terrorist. I breathe elements and I found the secret. We could all walk on water if it's ground beneath it. I carry my weapon and keep my trees, and still be hoe tapping axe to Rick Nasheed. 6 in the morning I greet my seed, then do everything I think I need.
I have to say this because I know our spirit and our emotions get stirred. I'm not against nobody on the panel. I'm with everybody on the panel. I'm not I agree with everything my brother said about revolutionaryism. So let me ask you guys a few questions. We're in the South, we're in the heart of the South right now. Fishing. Who knows how to fish? Black people, hands down. Who knows how to hunt? Let's hands down, hands down, hands down, hands down.
Oh yeah, what's up? Peace to everybody out early in the morning. I know I don't play too many songs to get the show started. Hope y'all don't mind. I'm gonna go on and play that joint with me and DQ Hampton. Shout out to DQ Hampton. All right, that's a pseudo killer official. That's my man right there. DQ Hampton with that early morning. Probably should have played it yesterday morning. But hey.
Yeah. DQ, baby. Check. Look, the fashion is clever, spectacular weather. I'm blacker than I ever been. Skisha pattern, some leather, ink and a feather. I pen some macking and letters. My family stay with the gift, cause we rapping together. Like it's Christmas Eve, I just roll up my sleeve and drink a cup of hot cocoa while she rolling some leaves. Have you ever lit a blunt off a chimney log? Massage from a synagogue, leaves foreign student with her friends involved. No, you haven't, so I ain't trying to have it. I'm painting pictures that's lavish, getaway log cabins. Amazing the magnetism, a magnet in all facets. Check my discography, baby, it's all classics. Feeling like Carol Baskins, surrounded by all this pussy. Making this money up y'all bastards. Funny how I mastered the art of being a subtle asshole on my dean. I'm shutting down y'all classes. COVID-19 flow nasty. Lamar Jackson with the stats how I'm passing y'all lasses. Catch me on the lake chilling laughing. Everlasting, my mind forever layer like fall fashion, nigga. Early morning, cleaning house, smoking that dodo, making money, breaking bank, getting that dodo. Grab a gun, but grab a book, don't be a dodo.
Unlocking the tunes for J Mill.
Then hit the dodo. Early morning, cleaning house, smoking that dodo, making money, breaking bank, getting that dodo. Grab a gun, but grab a book, don't be a dodo. If the boys disagree, then hit the dodo.
Yup, and click the photo. The beat knocking like a piston missing in the Lolo. The chicks should know the mission is to get some more dough. And if the friction and the tension seem intentional, then it's a no-go. And as an OG, I'm telling them young brothers to be cool. They push bass and turn up high, like my EQ that's clipping in the whip. And they say, yo, shit clean, pushing 60 in the trunk. 415s, going blah-da-down, blah-da-down. About to bounce, I hit the gas and rip the engine out the motor mounts. Hit the house to go read Dr. Ben. Then this chick sent a text that said, lock me in. Hibachi grill, Wagyu beef, Lil Kobe slice, late night demo tapes like Lil Homie nights. I text back at 4 a.m. while your girlie yawning, cause she think it feel better in the early morning. That's DQ Hampton featuring Smash Rockwell. Early morning.
Grab a gun, but grab a book. Don't be a dodo.
Don't get it twisted when we banging, y'all.
Early morning, cleaning house, smoking that dodo, making money, breaking bank, getting that dodo. Grab a gun, but grab a book. Don't be a dodo. If the boys disagree, then hit the dodo.
Shout out, that's a slapper. Hey, this video right here go crazy. Y'all see that right there in the tune, what we've been tripping off? God Nefer, the tomb of Hoy, tomb of Amenhotep called Hoy. Uh-oh. This is a cool shot of that. Damn, it was hella monumental at the top too. Oh, so that's that line of metal nature that they put and they paste down below it. So that line of metal nature really ain't there, huh? Man, that's crazy. See this metal nature on the top? Every inscription we see has that at the bottom. That is craziness. So I was looking at this right here. And when we see these black images on these individuals, we never associated with Assyrian symbolism. We just don't. Who's this right here? Green Asar. I'll say that's green. Even though it looked black, I'm just going, and he looked black. Look at your man Green Asar. I'm just making your brain say that ain't green, that's black. When we find Asar represented in this effigy, we see it attributed towards, as I put it towards in my book and other scholars have put it towards, is not a first, divine monarchy. So the confusion about Osirian symbolism is, well, let's just say, you can't fault anyone for thinking that things that are represented, things that represent actions in the afterlife, represent death. If they think that that something that symbolizes occurrences or any type of dominion in the afterlife is simply symbolic of the death, which is the gateway into that afterlife, then they're making a mistake. It's just facts. It's raining on the West Coast. I like rain with rainy weather. So it seems to me that now we'll talk about divine monarchy because there were points when, so this is, see, if you don't understand double entendres and dual meanings, it may appear that I might start talking with a forked tongue, but I'm not. I'm simply just trying to be honest about the information and give it into us in ways that are digestible and so we could comprehend. And so one thing that messes us up about Assyrian symbolism is that we think that if he is represented in this effigy and it symbolizes something, then it can't mean anything else. It couldn't be representative of anything else. And I need to not also, I don't want to be like a hypocrite. So I need to also make sure that I'm open to your interpretations, your other interpretations of what things mean regarding the other colors. For instance, when we look into the symbolism for other colors, we could talk about green. Well, my process of detailing what the blackness meant was to scrutinize the use of every color as it stands as a noun. You know, when the color changes from adjective to a noun and starts to mean a person, place, or a thing, I looked into all of those texts to see how they would work out. It also incorrect to only associate a sorrow with only physical death or the afterlife. Any person can become a Rasar and a Nasar in spiritual state while still living. That's interesting. I agree with the majority of what you said, but I don't know of any primary accounts of people becoming a Wasir while still living. Peace to Six Fingers in the chat. We still out here 10 years later, man. What's up with it? Look, and so about the symbolism, a lot of the things said about Osirian symbolism is true. But when we take everything black, every black representation, and then write it off with a catchphrase called Osirian symbolism, we run the risk of not actually understanding what we're looking at, not interpreting the data correctly, and putting out things in the world that just aren't true. Peace to Chris in the building. And so again, what I like to say in regards to the other colors, what we kind of learn is that the categories reflect, basically, it's no color that'll symbolize something positive and negative that I've come across in my limited research of color symbolism in ancient Egypt. What I mean is this: the color red is associated with Jesheret, the desert, right? It's also associated with what? Or Desheret is also associated with what? Anger is associated with the god Sutek, the Netra Sutek, we know as Seth. We have an account that says, because of this, Plutarch says, because of this, ancient Egyptians did not like to associate with red people. If we was to stop and scrutinize that source for a moment, and I will pull it up and put it on the screen, and it's sourced in my book. If we stop and if we was doing a class just on that source, right there, there'd be a lot of questions to answer. So when I pull up the grammatical attestations of a person being represented as one associated with redness to denote the symbolism of this individual or nature, they would just form the nisba like Jasher T. One associated with redness. And in fact, you never see a Jasherti. I have not found yet one associated with the desert written into the text. I know, again, I always say, don't act like I'm a fully complete, exhaustive Egyptologist. Well, that's because you haven't seen the discourses I've had with Brother Asar Imhotep over the past 12 years. But shout out to him. No slight to his work. We all can make a mistake. But the difference in our mistakes is what we banging about at the moment. You don't want to make a mistake when you're going against something like saying the ancient Egyptians wasn't black, and then you make a elementary mistake. One that you can't logically explain. I can't logically explain how someone who do such rigorous research. Yeah, me and Asar agree on a lot of points. We disagree on grammar, that's all. I mean, that's all. But if you go through the history of our discourses, all of our discourses be on the grammar, not on who the people were. Like, so when he be saying, a lot of people keep saying we say Kim don't mean black. I know he's not talking about me because he knows that there's a Kim that mean black. But he also say it's not proven that this is the Kim that they're using. So we agree on a lot of stuff. Okay. So then when I come to the attestations with blackness that don't, even though they're in the same tomb, they don't have anything to do with Osirian symbolism, we can start to see that even the ancient Egyptian had to know the difference. Right? Because again, Hakan Nefer here is not in Osirian symbolism. This is his actual, well, again, this is why this is a very good attestation, and this is why I like to stay here. Is because if we look at this tomb, we get to see a lot of the things people said refuted right here on the screen. So when I was having a discourse on Garfield's show yesterday, Asar said he didn't say nothing about racist. Then I played the video and it said racist. Then he said, oh, he was referring to somebody else's argument in that video. It ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But we were saying how, what his point was is how if you see a reddish brown representation of a person and you see a black representation of a person, it would vary from who the person is. He was making the argument in the case of Mentuhotep II that the reddish brown interpretation was actually how he looked, and that the black statue was basically an Osirian representation, and I heard others attach it to other things. Just as an Osirian, he's black like a Asar because he's dead. He didn't say because he's dead, but in other instances, he say because he's dead. And so my disagreements with that is at about 75%. I don't all the way disagree, but I 75% disagree. It is because you don't get painted black because you're dead. This is simple. Let's just stay at this simple point. Do you get painted black because you dead? Yes or no? No. I proved that, and let me go into my presentation for a bit now, if I can find it. But this is one that I guess not many people have seen. Let me see. So ain't no reason to keep reinventing the wheel because all the sources is right here. This is why I make these presentations. So that when we look at it, people can look it up and see what I'm saying. I was addressing other things. So when I say they worship black gods, let's go into the Hebrew tradition. Is God dead? is the God of the Hebrew tradition dead? Well, the difference between the God of the Hebrew tradition and one of the Neteru of ancient Egypt, in the case of Osiris here, Osiris' story tells us that before he died, he was living. Okay? This is why one of his symbols is the first symbol of kingship as well, and it is the merho. Because before he's said to be the founder of the ancient Egyptian civilization by various sources. And it was even people at various points in time who looked for the tomb of Osiris. I'm not talking about in modern times. I'm talking about in ancient times. I can show you the metal netter for the tomb of Osiris. So people look for that. So, just one second. What's up? Oh, you picking up a package? Thank you, just a second. Hey, hold up, y'all. I'll be right back. Oh, sorry. Give me 1 second. Hold up. I'll play this song.
Melodic script in my cartouche. Roll through with them arches. Hardcore, that's in my shinu. I'm Bennu giving y'all truth. Iron core from meteorite should be chartreuse. Turbocharged the chariot and almost left Ferrari. The queen like almost Nefertari. Immortalize an image, put a figure in a figurine. Him at Neteret, who them leopard skin kilts, yeah, the clan wear 'em. And I turn your knee suit to a fan bearer. Have my servants build a new stadium where I'ma slaughter you, surround your tomb alive with boot cranium. Remove the organs, we preserve the dead. Mummify them, then carve them a reserve head. And all your internet mans who lied with you, died with you, sacrificed their life, afterlife with you. Now I'm all in your spot, and I'm calling the shots, while your soul get devoured in the hall of my heart. Ain't a night ballin' or not, care if you ballin' or not. I'm still gonna tell you guys, go to Kemet like El Shaddai. You ain't no king, you're like Cambyses the Persian who couldn't draw the Nubian bowstring. Melt the jewels in your crown into a gold ring, refashion them after smashing the whole thing. You're like Pepe II. Too old, king. If you think it ain't black, then let me just check them. I know the syntax. Every morphine and phoneme. The scholarship top line, dog, and the flow mean. And my debater make a fraud quit the internet. Sometimes I wonder if I saw to fix this window yet. That's what you call repair, re-end. They heard the king of Mijal was a scary man. And he is though. I'm telling you, you better contain him, man. He's busting arrows at all these Mediterraneans, killing them. Now we ain't getting no views. Yeah, them flip-flops look like Tutankhamun shoes. And y'all just wiki, thinking I'm enthused. They turned Egyptian temples to churches and still say, I'm enthused. It's crazy. Alright? They just wiki, cause they lazy. So they can call me pseudo, it don't faze me. The page monetized, so crushing you clowns pays.
Facts rap. Thanks for holding on. So my point of this is, as you realize, the Hebrew God Yahweh never died. El Shaddai never died. But Jesus, the Son of God, did walk on the earth in this story, right? And he passed. He was murdered. Now, I'm not making a link between that here. What I'm showing you is how we should understand Black symbolism. Because here, when we see Wasir in the form of Kim were, certain people minimalize it to something as simple as he was because he's dead. But they forget that the woman right here is dead too. Well, then they say, no, it's because he's a dead god. But we got accounts that show us that him and his wife was black before they were deceased. So, as again, we should not misunderstand Osirian symbolism because it is there. But we should straighten it out and understand. Oh, shit. Oh. And we shouldn't put everything that's black to Assyrian symbolism. For instance, I went over this yesterday, and I say it over and over when I bring forward this slide, that this even presents a conundrum for those who read the Medu Neter and would like to translate this in other ways. The Waterbush said that this is Aset Kemet. But he said this is of Aset as a black woman. So it's really just Sati Kemet. As we don't see Aset written out in the traditional ways we see it written out. But if we look, it says of Aset as a black woman. Von Isis as Aus Schwarzer Frau. All right. And so this is a black woman. Now, when they talked about Aset, they called her a black woman. If we're willing to accept what the scholars say, then we just have to be modest and stop acting like we better than them. But if we want to raise our contentions, someone will say that this is a woman of Kemet. No, that don't say a black woman. That just says a woman, Sati Ni Kemet, even though there's no ni there. Woman of Kemet. Well, if that was the instance, you created a worse situation for yourself. Because then you'd be saying, we have a Kemet, which we do, as you see on the screen, with the hieroglyph. If we got a Kemet with the hieroglyph, then this would mean they want us to focus on the blackness in that term. That we find no primary attestation. See how many times I said that and nobody ain't just came on the show and fried me yet? I would willingly accept and be taught humbly. When I'm not wrong, I have to carry on. But if I know I'm wrong, I'm not about to make a fool out of myself. I got to get up out of that. So now the question is, just like we referenced the Hebrew God, Yahweh, we'll go to his one-time counterpart, Ashura. Is Ashura. Did she ever die? How about let's stay within the modern traditional Hebrew setup, or the Christian setup the way we know it, and let's just say the Holy Spirit. It exists as an entity that I mean, you know, if it took the bean, it took the bean when Jesus came, right? So Aset never died, but she's black, as we see on the screen. Y'all see the glyph for color? Color the skin of a man, hide of an animal, or skin color. That is what they would like us to focus on when we see this determinative. So what they want you to focus on about Aset, or about this woman, that she was black. Now, does it have something to do with Osirian symbolism? Yes, I would say. But does it have something to do with other than that? Yes, I would say. And I'm going to show and prove. Here we see Plutarch, the Isis, page 54. The translations coming from the publication of the Egyptian Research Account, volume 9, page 29. Hold on. Hold on. What's up with yeah, we right here. And so in the publication, we can see volume 9, page 21. They cite page 451 of Plutarch's Isis on Osiris, where we read Didymus reading a Dendera text that reads, Isis was born a black and ruddy woman, endowed with life, sweet of love. Now, I chose to use a tertiary source on this on purpose. Right? It's because I wanted you to see how the scholars translate it, because I don't do Greek and I can't meta up. And so instead of just going to the first book that got it, I went to the work of these scholars who use the word. And this is what they say. She was born a black and ruddy woman, endowed with life, sweet of love. So if she was born that way, her being black because of death is just simply not an option. Furthermore, this would detach Isis from being black because of Osirian symbolism. Because she wasn't born of Osiris. So again, this is one, I just gave us two accounts on Aset being black. You feel me? Two accounts. Right? We got more. But I also say, I'm going to show us where they say, yeah, we also got her reddish. So here it is. I got the metal nature on her being blackish red. Or not her being blackish red, but women where they put Kim, they put the hair glyph, then they put Jasher and put the hair glyph. So this reddish, now that since Kim could mean brown, we really can say we have an attestation for the reddish brown color written in the Medu Neter. And when it comes time, we can simply pull that up. But well, let's focus on this for a moment because Plutarch said it, and then the original translators who translated that Plutarch said it, and then the publication of Ancient Egyptian Research Account, Volume 9, also said it. So I have to stand behind these scholars here. Now, when we go into this text, a magical papyri from the New Kingdom, the Scorpion Magical Papyrus of Chester Beatty. Let's just say they're talking about some of the worst things. Let's just say at this point they're talking about being bitten by a scorpion. And it is going to cause the part of your leg to be black like Heru or red like Sutek. Even in the worst analogy you could think of, Heru is used metaphorically for blackness. Black like. The context, you got to know when the context changes things. Black like Heru remains whether the person got hit with a bat, socked in the eye, or what have we. But what I would like us to focus on is something I said earlier. Look at the transliteration here. And how do they say black like Heru? It really don't even say that. And the Medu Neter people can read the transliteration right here of this original hieratic papyri and see what it says. Now the question is, see, this is what the grammarians are seeing right now. They're ahead of us. They're looking at the T's on the end of all of these words, right? You notice that? And so it's going to make, now it ain't no T on Heru because he's never going to be represented in the feminine. It ain't no T on Sutek because he's not going to be represented in the feminine. When the grammarian go look at the whole context of this word, you see this just means to give. All right, and now this when chat, this is kind of like a to exist, but it got a TCH at the end. So it's like to be, you see, to be. To exist means to be. This is the root to our word human being. Something that exists, this is what I mean, to be. That's why I want to be like, I be chilling in African American vernacular English. I think that's a proper statement. I exist in that state. So that's why we got this here, or this win. When, so it's like, the T is not doing feminization here, it's capital. So it's win netch. But what we should focus on is the root is Kim. We see another T in this J, which represents an I or a Y. So we got Kemeti. See? We got Kemeti. Now, if you thought this meant those of Egypt, you can't read the glyphs. Check lightweight, mate. If you came to this text and seen just because it say Kemeti and you followed some racist rule and said, I can't allow this to say black, then you're going to have to translate Egyptians. So this will then say to cause to be Egyptian like Heru and a desert dweller like Sutek. That's wrong. And we have your favorite word here, which people said the plural. All right, look, this is Kimti. To make this be Kemeti you only add a W of plurality. So then, I would love this slide, but this ain't why I came to it. I came to it to talk about Osirian symbolism. So my question to you and all of the students and anyone following along, and this is a workshop, I ain't no teacher, so check it out. What I'm trying to say is this. Look, when you're talking to your homie and he knows some shit you don't know, he just teaching you for a minute. But he ain't your teacher, because if you chime in and tell him some shit you don't know, that make y'all relationship valuable. Y'all be building. And so I'll be willing to offer mine, and then I open up the link for somebody to offer back. And I be getting all that dumbness. Like, what is the matter with this? So I was trying to even build even further to give us the indication of what the real grammarians will try to attack. The feminine gender of the so-called terms before this, which might mean that this needed to be feminized, for instance, what would not give us a Kemeti, it still would give us a Kemeti. I mean, and there's no way really around it. You know, when I play chess, I sit there for 5 of my minutes thinking about what you gonna do after I make the move that I want to make. So back to the Osirian symbolism then. If to those who propose that he's black because he's dead, and never speak of this divine monarchy in the afterlife that I'm bringing to the community, that I'm not acting like is my original, I didn't make that up. I got it all sourced. I just be trying to show us some of the stuff that we had not seen and some of the connections that have not been made. So the cause to be black like Hey Rue now, is this gonna cause you then to have Osirian symbolism? Let's go into it. Nah, I'm gonna finish up doing some of this presentation because I guess everybody ain't seen it. And the last time I talked about it, I wasn't addressing Osirian symbolism, but it works because these are the attestations about this blackness, right? So this is a family. Osir being the patriarch. I said Osir, right? Yeah, being the patriarch. Set being the matriarch. The successor, the seed being Heru. One of them died. So now is it that when you Osiris and you die, everybody related to you just turn black? That ain't the case. So if you guys are following along, you remember in an earlier slide, we referenced Plutarch, Isis, and Osiris, where he stated she was born black and ruddy, right? Well, I don't know if I put it in this presentation, but I have a point of memory where they also say it is Plutarch. We're going to look it up. Arstrabo, I think it's Plutarch, who say Osiris, it ain't dark because of the fertile now silk. They say Osiris was dark because he came from the south. Now, if I got that and I could show that, will we at least get some credit for it? Or is Cat's gonna keep on just being like, I'm just gonna refute it forever? Thus, by modern American standards, it is reasonable to characterize the Egyptians as black, while acknowledging the scientific evidence for the physical diversity of Africans. I had to read that from the Oxford Encyclopedia of Ancient Egypt. Let me get out of this real quick. I want to stay on point. This is another good point of contention here. We can do Mentuhotep, since it go right along. Oxford Encyclopedia of Ancient Egypt. The statue of the Middle Kingdom founder Neb-Hetep-Ra Mentuhotep with black skin may point to Nubian ancestry, although the use of black skin may also simply reflect the statue's Osirian symbolism. Okay? So now we're not talking about a Necher. We're talking about a pharaoh or a Nisut. How many of us know the real story of Mentuhotep? Everybody know the handbook for conscious community coffee table story. Like we all, that's why it's good to watch my show, because if I could help us get a little bit more depth on some of these subjects, and it might inspire us to dive into it to see if what I'm saying is true. Now, he's so related to being a Nubian, as we would like to say, a Southerner, right? He got so much evidence that show he was down with the Nubians that arguing against it is crazy. Yes, sir, Cameron. He helped to introduce Egypt to these warriors from the south called the Magi. You see, it was like this. Before Mentuhotep II, Egypt would always have to send, or the Nisut, I would say, would always have to send one of his boys to go into the south to get some warriors when it was beef. Particularly Harkuf, that's my man's son. Hey. Harkuf and Winnie. It was one person who went in the second dynasty, I think, before Winnie. At the same times when they talking about, look, they fighting and they rounding up making the Nubian slaves. That's because we think Nubians is a people group. So these beefs, the beefs after the initial unification went on for a while. Imagine what the first pharaoh had to fight off, second pharaoh. But when we get to this first intermediate period, after Pepi sent Winnie, after Pepi sent Harkuf, and Winnie had went right before him, I think, for Marin-Ra. After they went down there, Mentuhotep was like, what? These my people. So imagine people keep going to your homies for backup. And he like, no, these is really, I really got the line on them. I'm going to bring them all here. And so you could argue whether I'm projecting things, but you could go look at what they call the pan-grave culture in Egypt. See when it started. All right. Mess up and stumble on some secrets they don't want us to know. Man, I did it a few times, but don't nobody believe it, so I just keep it to myself. You be like, look, bro, look what this say. You ain't gonna play yourself. So shout out to you. So now I'm just using, because people don't like the primaries, I switched up the secondaries. Like this on the screen is stronger than me showing you it in the Medu Neter. Because people think that you don't know how to read. So one of the things that we learn about Mentuhotep is he got himself into a precarious situation being a Theban king. See, Thebes was the heart of the heart, right? Because it was, let's stop being Eurocentric. Let's be African-centered. Just try it just for 10 minutes. Thebes was the gateway into Egypt, not the Mediterranean. You got to think from the center of Africa. And you're going downstream. See, now if you a Southerner, even if you could shit it, right? Far more south than the lower Nubian contingency that we always talk about. When you get to Thebes, that's your customs border entry into Egypt. Y'all see that? Why not Tasseti? Because Tasseti was yours already. So Tasseti is why they call it Egyptian Nubia. It's really the first nome in Egypt. But as you can see in the officials of Kemet, when they made the term the viceroy of Kush, the Sanisut, his reign was from Thebes down. So he was the viceroy of Kush, and he would go get money from people right one nome under Thebes. Imagine that. So if we ain't understanding Thebes, this is like the fourth nome in the south, right above Edfu, and right up what Nakin. Then we got the Throne of Horus, the second one, I can't remember his name, but it's the Throne of Horus. And then we got Tasseti. So I often tell people, I know I'm going off, but it's still good learning. So let's chill. I often tell people that when we come down here, see, people always mislead you and make you think everything was popping up here. Well, actually, when they talk about the unification, it's way down here. Now, these are the nomes I was just citing off. Yeah, Nubet first being Kom Ombo being Tasseti. Buhin, I said Buhin. Behudet, Edfu, Behudet. And then the kin. 1, 2, 3. These would all be included in what we call today Egyptian Nubia. Everything, like I said, the gates go this way, not from the Mediterranean. I asked us to be Afrocentric for a minute. Stop thinking the center of the world is Europe, and that makes this the front door to Egypt right here. This the back door. Can we all, who wants to contend against that? I am arguing, and I am willing to argue that this is the back door of Egypt. The metaphoric buttocks of Egypt is the delta. The hindquarters, the posterior, the bottom. The back door. Don't you got a house? Front door, back door. Or whatever. I ain't talking about nobody's situation. I'm just saying. You know what a front door and the back door is. Here go the front door to Egypt. Thebes. Now, I started expounding on Thebes to get us to understand the precarious situation our brother Mentuhotep II found himself in. Because he thought he had connects, and he did. He proved it. But guess what his connects was? He had to go through, as archaeology tells us, he had to go, and this is my manifestation, you could call it conjecture, but I got all the sources to prove it, and I'm telling you them. All right, so just hear me out. He had to leave Waset and somehow hook up with some people in the eastern Nubian desert called the Magi. We know it is because of various reasons. Because out of his dynasty, it lines up with the archaeology of what we call pan-grave culture. The majority of the pan-grave burials are found about the 12th dynasty, right? Mentuhotep being 11th dynasty coming into the 12th. So he like starting what we would know as the Middle Kingdom. But let's think about this. Because how do we know that? We first know that Magi archers was now you don't have to go down here to get them no more. They moved into Egypt. When did they move in? During the first intermediate period. And it seems that a problem between the Theban families, Mentuhotep family, going back to the Antefs, if I'm correct, going back to the Antefs, Mentuhotep family, and guess who? The boss of Tasseti. Hold on, I just heard that with some feedback. The boss of Tasseti. My mic hella loud, excuse me. The boss of Tasseti. Who was who? We talked about it a few times. There's another brother I like us to talk about. I took on that moniker Magi so we could talk about that contingency of Egyptians. Antef. Antef said, you know what? So this is how it go. It just really go down like this. Whoever you start paying taxes to, I gotta go slow, man. I need people to get the full context. So, because people walk away from my discourse too much, acting like they don't understand it. And I take that on myself and not on y'all. Somebody trying to explain something, you don't get it, it ain't your fault. Yeah. So let me see. I have to break this down. So here we go here. Now everybody know they say that Kom Ombo, which is Tasseti, is the first nome in Egypt. We know that, right? We got that identified. This nome right here is Tasseti. If you want to talk about it, I can have fun with this and say that Set, the Netcher, who's also associated with Kom Ombo, just look that up. In position, he's in geographic position above Heru. Why am I saying that? Because I understand that I don't want to go off on too many tangents, but now my evidence is starting to let me believe. You see, Tasseti first. But what's second? The throne of Horus. Oh, man. Now think about this and think realistically and practically. Let's not be over smart. The first two nomes of Egypt is Horus and Set. If somebody need me to prove how Tasseti is related to Sutek, the Netcher, I will. But a lot of people already know that. So somebody in the chat can just show you. So we do hear about the battles of Horus and Set. The contendings of Horus and Set, but we never look at it as any type of geographical war between tribes. But something I'm about to say is going to be like the thread weaving together, you know what I'm saying, the concepts. Because what we misunderstand about the cattle count that Brother Reggie brought us was the cattle count turned into a form of taxation. All right? So doing your taxes, some dudes is going to run up on you in Kemet. Some dudes is going to run up on you, excuse me, in Kemet one day and they're going to be like, how many cattle you got? If you got 10, we need 2 for the king. Just like that. And not only your cattle, but all of your livestock. Anybody know who those people were? Write it in the chat. You only got 10 chat GPT seconds. 1 chat GPT. 2 chat GPT. 3 chat GPT. Do anybody know? Them chat GPT seconds running out right now. Who collected taxes in Kemet? Well, when we go back to the teachings, we're going to learn that the people who collected taxes in Kemet were called who? The Shimsu Heru. Just how the name of the original people of the land of Madjai became synonymous with, well, it was once argued in Egyptology that the name of the people of Madjai, the Magi, became synonymous with the police in Kemet. The name, I answered it already, I'm sorry. The name, damn, when I seen that priest and that viceroy on the screen, it threw me all off. The name Shimsu Heru, right? It became synonymous with tax collectors. So now we're going to weave this all together with shit we already know. Anything you don't know, before you contend against me, just Google it. But when you type it in the chat and you can find it right on the internet, you're going to make yourself look stupid. So now, the Shimsu Heru did become the tax collectors, right? So think about this, and we got to use all elements, not just one element. Geographically, the first nome of Kemet that they established was established in the land that was already there, called Taseti. So really, the first thing they established of their own is the throne of Horus. We can see it right here. Now, we need to know a little bit about the kingship of ancient Egypt, because there's classification for names that don't even ring all the way true when you understand it. Particularly something that all kings are said to have is a Horus name. That's not necessarily true. And so if we look at the first, second, and third dynasty of kings, we can see the battle of Horus and Set transpiring in the nomenclature, or the choice of names that they chose to denote themselves, I would say. Right? Because the Heru kings start off as if they won this battle. This is why this area that wasn't theirs, that was already established, Taseti becomes the first nome in Egypt. You got to beat somebody to do that. So who beat him? Well, if you listen to the mythological stories of the battle of Horus and Set, it's showing you right here. But what I just said about the Shimsu Heru was for a reason. So whoever go around going to get the money at the end won. Like break bread. And this was the Shimsu Heru. Shimsu means followers. So now we know that, okay, that's more evidence towards what we're seeing about this battle of Horus and Set. But I'm still detailing this. I'm talking about Mentuhotep. I'm just giving us the instances, because check this out. The one nome above that, Nakin, is literally say the shrine here. So you got to throw that out. What I mean by throw that out? Well, Taseti is the land of the bow, representative of the shooters in the word Seti, also representative of a Netcher, Set, and then we got the second nome, was Tesh Hor, representing the throne of Horus, who are the followers of Horus. Shem-Su-Heru. Now we get to this one. This simply says a shrine. Why I say that is because the shrine is deified over here, but the shrine is not indicative of a particular nature. So let me show y'all something. I don't want to go too far in on how I can see shit, but I lead y'all to see it the same way. Don't you see whoever wins this battle coming down the river, now you got the shrine and the scepter? Nah, y'all don't see that, huh? So then the shrine then, to y'all who don't see this, is a person or a people group. And the scepter then is a people group too. Well, we know Egyptologists tell us, let's be clear, we're talking about the first 3 nomes of Egypt. This is what they call Egyptian Nubian. So to them, this is all one people group called Nubians. But we can clearly see that these tribal insignia are different because these people might beef with these people. That's not why they're different. They venerate different things, and so there was some type of a tribal separation that ain't only geographical. But let's stay on point, because this is Mentuhotep's area, so look, it go like this. If I could get them all on the screen. Not Mentuhotep's area, but yeah. Mentuhotep was from Waset now, see? So as I go up the screen, I'm going upstream, deeper into Africa, right? Contradicting what's happening on the map side. So this Waset here is the 4th nome, but we African-centered, right? And so the people closer to the center of Africa is these people. And when Egypt fell apart, now let's keep it clear, before Egypt fell apart and there was some people going out collecting the taxes, now I'm not saying they stayed in this nome, but whatever tradition was set up by the Shem-Su-Heru, the followers of Horus, they then became under the auspices of the Nisu, who had control of the lowland, and they go to every nome and make each individual break bread. So when we had a weak pharaoh, they couldn't get people who would do that. They couldn't get people who could do that. They was just weak. Right? And so people would not pay their taxes and you're not going to do nothing. We deep over here. And this would be the basis to the start of an intermediate period. Because whoever was in the local region would say, nah, give me that paper. When the Shem-Su-Heru come, we going to holler at them. And that takes us into what is only a Egyptological term, intermediate period. We could rename intermediate periods. You could go look it up and give it something more appropriate. We're going to stop breaking bread. So let's get back to Antef and Mentuhotep now that we got a little bit of the context. Because we still talking about that blackness of Mentuhotep, but we just giving them more than they're going to get anyplace else. Now, because when Mentuhotep was from Waset, he had beef with somebody, with the people. All of Egypt was apart. So he couldn't go and say, give me y'all money with no Shem-Su-Heru, because whoever was the local chief of the area was just doing that and becoming rich. So this is how kings would rise up, right? And so let me show you. He was from there was another dude, let's find it. It's called No King. That's how I remember. Nenen Nisut. So we see Nenen Nisut on here. Let me show y'all. It's going to be about the 8th nome. I don't like to say the Greek names. I often do for the popular words. I'm selling a book. I'm going to say Osiris and teach you in the book that it's Wasir. But people keep asking me why. I'm like, dude, I know ancient Egyptian. I also know marketing. A book with Wasir on the cover going to take, people going to have to read what that even is about. And you lose sales that way. So it's better to teach them in the book. So now let's go find this place called No Nisut. They don't want to tell you what it means, but if you read the glyphs, everybody's going to tell you, yeah, you could translate. Here we go. So now they say Nini Nisu. Let's look at this. Heracleopolis, having to do with Hercules. No, not Hera. No, Heracleopolis. Whatever, y'all do the Greek, but I'm going to do the Nini Nisut. I say this means no king, but really the negation should be in front of the, if it was being negated, negation happens in front of what's being negated. So it might not mean no Nisu. But the people from here, now him, them, and Antefi, let me go down here, from Antefi from Kaseti had connections. And that presented a big problem to Mentuhotep and the Theban family when they had to do what they had to do. Because look, I'm going to highlight it. These people from Kaseti, dang, I can't get it all on the map. Let me make it small. They blocking you from both ways, Mentuhotep. What you going to do? Let me see. Dang, they going away, huh? That's crazy, too. But this is all Upper Egypt. You got to remember. So look, the Antefi from Kaseti right here had connections with these people right here. Right? You see how far up that is? And Mentuhotep is right here in the middle. Now these Heracleopolitan kings, I don't even know if there was anybody of any significance, but they could come at Thebes from both angles and smash that out. And so what Mentuhotep had to do eventually was find somebody who could get him out that situation. And I don't know how he did it, but he did it like a boss. Because he got around these dudes. So he's in Waset. And evidence shows us that somehow, I don't want to say he got around them, somehow these Magi archers from the Eastern Desert wind up in Egypt at the same time that he unified Egypt. So let's go to Antefi real quick. He was one of the first people who said, you know what? We're not paying the king. Y'all pay me. You feel me? And let's just, even though we ain't talking about how people is represented, we also gonna look at, because he's about as Nubian as you're gonna get for Egyptian Nubian, but they're gonna still be saying other things, you know what I'm saying? Antefi was one of the first to rise up as a king up out of Kaseti. All right? And so they give a lot of information here on him. The use of the name Antefi, the one who will live, is evident in the Old Kingdom for signage names of Egyptians. Now look, who are they sourcing? Herman Rank. Cats keep messing everything up. So, I'm gonna wait for the scholars. Herman Rank personally naming Egyptians. In the inscription in the tomb, the name Antefi is often followed by the adjective either naked, brave, or less usually Akir, the excellent. But these adjectives should not be considered a part of the name. Antefi is known only by his burial. He is not found mentioned anywhere else. That's because he tried to become the king and do it all. It says the title card by Antefi were very high. In hieratic, it says the first of these is the great chief of the gnomes of, and is blanked out. So you hear right there, let's slow down. We know where he was from. He was from Kaseti. But here the word Kaseti is blanked out. And he ain't calling himself the king or the Nisu. We need to look and see what they translated great chief from. But we know that would be like he was a Hakawar. This is going to be like Hakawar. Because I know the translations of Theory, Bittenbender, and page. So, indicating this dignity of nomarch. which attached the count, blah, 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 blah. So again, I don't want to read too much on him because I just remember I'm trying to detail this Osirian symbolism and I'm going far off just on Mentuhotep. But about him, as they'll show you, he was one of the people. He ran up on Thebes to fight Mentuhotep now, and they wouldn't come out and fight. Yes, Antef and them boys from Tassedi was like, what's up then? What up? Come outside. They would not come outside. Now, I don't want to tarnish Mentuhotep's legacy. What I'm telling you is true, but we don't know if Mentuhotep was actually the Nisu in control, or Mentuhotep II was the Nisu in control of Thebes at this time, but they all lived in the same time period. So that's what Antef did. He went to go sack Thebes. Now, Mentuhotep only prevailed by going to the south. Now, why I keep saying, here go a parade of archers. Look, tell you, this Antef, bro, they running up. Can't see it better though. But you see how these Nubian archers is oh, they ain't Nubian archers. I forgot. People ain't gonna wanna. Southern archers is represented in the standard way. Now, the representation in the tomb of the troop of army soldiers is rare before the new empire. This part of the wall has especially been damaged, but some archers are well preserved. The troop consists in very great majority of Egyptians, but also some Nubians. The skin of the Egyptians is painted red and that of the Nubians is black. It says all have short hair decorated with the headband. Let's see if we can see what he's saying. Maybe these are some black people right here. Can't see that. But now we see more and over again, they try to say Nubians and Egyptians, but it's really just two different hues, and they separating people by the skin color. This Bittenbender consistently does that, but they got some great work, so I don't care about his personal stance. All right, let's see if we can see another representation. But I'm not rushing myself. I'm going to get. I like giving more. So let's see if he talks about now. So it shows Antef and his wife sitting in the chair, feet in the line, and covered with low in the backrest, covered with a cushion. The nomarch holds the stick with the right hand and the Keper scepter in the left hand, symbols of power. One can notice that the scepter passes illogically behind the arm of Antef. This explanation is to be looked for in the Egyptian mode of representation. The aspective concept described by Emma Brunner-Trode, which we have already mentioned in the survey of the tomb of Nikau Isis in Saqqara. All right. Bottom rather the passage of the four. So again, I'm going too far with this. Let's get back to. But yeah, and so with that situation that he obviously prevailed, Mentuhotep prevailed with, he comes out of this as a nomarch with 6, not a nomarch, but an actual Nisu, with 6 Nubian wives. Not 1, not 2, but supposedly 6 Nubian wives. We can prove the Nubianness of at least 3 of them, and then the others have names that aren't traditional. They don't translate back to traditional ancient Egyptian terms. So we can see that. Who copped that book? If you're looking for it, go and cop that book. That'll be some good support. I know tomorrow that I'm about to turn 49 tomorrow. OG almost 50, bro. That's why I be living my best life. Out here kicking it. So I ain't one for doing no birthday stream or no. But I might be back talking about the information though, if I have time to stream tomorrow. But at this age, let me talk to my men. Fathers and men and people. Take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself in all regards, but mostly in every regard. Health, everything. But this thing is this. Take care of yourself. Just like I don't put no burden on nobody to do nothing for me. I'm gonna do it big for myself. So like I don't like give my kids no money to go buy me no gift. Like how that work when you raising kids, you feel me? I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna buy something in your name, something in your name, something in your name. And be like, this is what you got me. Wrap it. I don't even be tripping. And I'll be excited when I open it. Because you the father, right? Like you gotta make some type of what you expect. Come on now. And so I put on for myself. I don't ever need nobody. Because you your best partner, right? So why wouldn't you treat yourself frugal in your life experience? And then put the burden on somebody to get something right for you. Please, here, give me this. Bow, I got it here. And I paid for it. Just wrap it and give it to me. I'm gonna bend it for God. You know what I'm saying? Instead of making my kids go, oh, daddy, give me $100, I need to do something else. You're gonna go take my $100, buy something I don't even want. No, and I'm not being ungrateful. I'm just simply saying, as men, sometimes you gotta decide. You can't be sitting around on your day like, why they ain't think about this? Why they ain't think about that? I'd be like, please. I thought about it all. Took care of all y'all because I got love for all y'all. Not but let's get back to the thing though. Yeah, I'm getting off the screen though. Shout out to y'all though for the well wishes. So then, if we just go straight back to where we was at, Women 207, I did not make that up. I wanted to say all of that just to let you understand the second sentence that they're saying here. They say a statue of the Middle Kingdom founder Neb-Hetep-Ra Mentuhotep with black skin may point to Nubian ancestry. Although the use of black may simply reflect the statue's Osirian symbolism. All right, let's come back. Let me tell you, my brothers and people, about not drinking. That's why I look like this. You don't see all that abuse on my face like that, man. You know? So that drinking just wears down bad. Smoking do too. You know what I'm saying? But it wears down bad. You know what I'm saying? So I have a drink every now and then. But it just makes us not look young so quick. So they could give me a nice 35 if they wanted to. Don't let me do no just for men. Do some just for men and keep a smile. My old man lines ain't coming in all the way yet. Shout out to you. Let's get back to this. All I wanted us to see this for was to understand the second symbol, the second sentence more. The second symbol, which reads, artistic and physical evidence suggests that his wives, Ashayet, you know anybody else with an ancient Egyptian name like Ashayet? Internet, Kim Sit, which literally means black woman. Kim, you see the Kim in her name? When do they call Nubians Kim? I just be sitting back laughing. What they be thinking is a big, strong point be on the floor of my research. I dropped that on the floor. Look, it's right here on the floor. We're not talking about using Kim for Nubians, but don't y'all see Kim used for Nubians right here? In the same sentence too, look. It says, artistic and physical evidence suggests that his wives, Ashayet, Henenet, Kim Sit, see if we knew that meant black woman. Well, if they was all black, why they calling her the black woman? Cuz, go look at her, go look at her. Just like we all black, but I got homies called black. In Oakland, all black culture, when I was growing up, black, two dudes named Black was two of the biggest bosses. Did that mean I wasn't black? Black. Then we'd be like, which black? Black with showing them or what other black? Because you're not even about to say Black John. They just was black, bro. They wasn't Black Mike. We got enough Black Robs, Black something else, but they was just black. Ask anybody from Oakland, black. Everybody know black. So if we look at this sentence, I'm showing you the majority of these names, not the majority. Yeah, the majority of these names don't translate back to Medu Neter. Which ones don't? Well, the majority of his wives, but they didn't put all of the names up here. So let's see which ones. Hin, in, et don't really translate back to Medu Neter. Now, if you go to hin and net, you're going to be talking close to a phallus or something. You're going to mess it all up. But it could be a hin, et. Everybody is going to have a hard time telling you that. Sade is not an ancient Egyptian name. If you say Sa, say the Sa was for Sod. Why is it ending in A? You see the one that ends in the T's? They have the option for being ancient Egyptian. You can have a feminine name that Nefertiti. You can have feminine names that don't end in the T. I'm not saying that that's normal, but we need evidence to show us what's going on, and we try to notice the easiest evidences first. All of these women got T's on the end of their name except Sade. That's the easiest one we can deduce, right? Ancient Egyptians used T's for femininity at the end of words, but they're often suffixed. So we would say, is this yet part of a suffix where a Y is turning her into an entity, and then the T is saying it's a feminine entity? That matches ancient Egyptian grammar. That means we would have to know what Asha means. Then we would break it down. Where is it Ash, Ha? And just like they're telling you right here in the Oxford Encyclopedia of Ancient Egypt that they probably was Nubian. Were probably Nubian. So even after I made my presentation and good brother Asar, he corrected himself about what he said about Nefertari. He maintained his stance. As if the stance is maintained, as if you can maintain the stance after your first piece of evidence is debunked. The other evidences don't hold up. She ain't represented like that. Yeah, get the sales up for today. If y'all want to just kick in, y'all can get the sales up, then I'll be able to look tomorrow like, damn, they did that. And it's gonna ride before Christmas. Let me see. So, Ashayet Henenet, Kim C, the black woman. Let's go look at her. And I said, well, when you look at her, I know y'all probably laughing at me or acting like I'm being stereotypical, but they the one who called her Kim C. Type K-E-M-S-I-T. Sit. That's sit. Now let's talk about this sit. We're going to put her name up and we're going to go back to Aset's name. Dang. But everybody won't get it because the glyphs is a little different. So this is how they got her name here. I can show you plenty of ways. Oh, man. I can show you plenty of ways where this right here, Kim, that's the Kim. This is the sit, and they got the woman here. Now, normally when you write a name, you really don't have to do, people could tell you, putting a determinative ain't part of a name. You don't have to put the determinatives on words inside of your name. You can if you want. You don't gotta be saying, I'm a woman in your name. But y'all see a woman painted here, right? I mean, I'll show you the name of every pharaoh. You're not about to see no male determinative or female determinative in Tutankhamun's name trying to show his gender. So that means that this word with this S, all that gives us, it doesn't mean, but it gives us strong indication that this word that starts with the S and ends with the T, see, this is one word, but we're trying to see how her name is comprised or composed. And so we know Kim is a root in ancient Egyptian. So if we think we isolated that, we got to make sense out of the S and the I and the T. Now, instead of saying, well, when you say woman, it's sati, no, actually, when they do that, they never put a glyph there to let us know how it's really pronounced. So instead of arguing against that, I would say that this is more evidence that to pronounce woman, you don't say sat. You say, well, you say whatever this reed leaf will represent phonetically. I'm not trying to get in pronunciation, but what I'm trying to say is that that sound was represented by a reed leaf to the ancient Egyptian, and we could clearly see this is representative of a woman. So now if we could know that Kim does mean black and sit does mean woman, this is a name coming from using ancient Egyptian words, but it seemed to be formed some erroneous way. Because obviously to say black woman, as we looked at this slide from, where's it at? As we look at this slide here, you're gonna see the glyphs in opposite position. Look, this is Aset, the black woman. Don't you see the set before the Kim? This really ain't Aset. This says black woman. But don't you see the sets in front of, so this is Kemet Set. Her name is Kim's, let me fix that. This is Set Kemet. Her name is Kim Set. You see what I mean? Or Sati, however you want to pronounce it. So her name is just like Aset's name when it was the black woman, except the Kim on her name is out of position. The Kim on Kim Set's name shouldn't be first. If the color descriptive of a woman should come after her. But now I found evidence that, you know what? The Nubians switched that up. And since I don't have to do nothing, I'm gonna show you there's gonna say Nubian on the page somewhere. This is just the wiki. Look, Nubian. Kim Set may be of Nubian origin, as indicated depiction showing her face as black or dark pink. Dark pink. Man, don't you know I got her stuff from J Mill right now, wiki? I go into the drive. Oh. All right, I'm almost at my talking limits. We're gonna let some people in to make sure the show can keep going. I'm gonna get out and go handle some business. Damn, shout out for the cash apps too. Oh, so where we at? Now look, oh, we never even did lookership. What about the lookership though? Lookership always help. I don't care what they're talking about. Observation is the real word. Lookership is when you form your whole opinion only based off the iconography and nothing else. But you don't leave out the iconography or the way they represented themselves. Y'all know what them little circles on her head represent? I dare you to say a helmet. Go see Sally Ann Ashton's work, man. Them curly cues. Any name you knew for him in the hood. Them circles are supposed to represent baby twist. This is Kim said. All right? And look, they're going to be like, look, you can see right there, he got a little bit of red on his arm. But that's even better. Because now you see that you ain't only using bliggity black for people from the South. So then, this Assyrian symbolism thing, the question is not answered by saying it's because they dead. As we see here, right? We see Amos Nefertari, and when we read the glyphs, we're forced to say Amos Nefertari, not Amos or Amos or any other ways that can be pronounced. I don't mind us doing it. I do it all the time. But when we read the glyphs right here, this is what we see. Ah at the top, mess. And then you see the Nefer over here, target. All right. Same dictionary saying, Oxford Handbook of Ancient Nubia saying that her skin complexion might represent Nubian ancestry. So how am I wrong? Because really I'm wrong I know how to debate. You don't talk after you got them. You end with a slide like this, but you don't give nobody no extra after you already got them, because you're just giving them an opening to talk about something else. All of the well put together videos people have done. I seen Chief X trying to use the Ujahu video the other day. Last night. It wasn't the other day, last night. He wasn't doing it last night, but I seen it last night. Trying to, see, this is the funny part. Now you seen Brother Bobby for a minute, shout out to Bobby, tried to go and wake Asar up from the dead, thinking that he was gonna be able to get him to fight off Smash. But he forgot all me and Asar disagree on is whether that word was used to say black people. We don't disagree on whether they were black people or not, or whether it's appropriate to call them black and to keep it a buck without all of the linguistic stuff that I don't know how to qualify. Asar still got good work in just showing that they black. What do you mean? He can just show you that with all of these other African tribes that's rocking with y'all we thought was the crowns of ancient Egypt. Now, let's just say this wasn't no haircut. I don't care what y'all say. She didn't get her hair cut into that right there. But it could have been other than a physical crown like that. But what does the source say here? Another example sometimes cited is the appearance of Amenhotep's the first queen mother, Amos Nefertari, who is consistently shown with a black complexion, contrary to the norms of representing Egyptian women. While various explanations have been advanced for this other than her actual appearance, there is one case where she is shown directly opposite Amenhotep in a manner which leaves no doubt that this was actually her appearance. This was, I think I need to. Y'all read that on the screen for a minute. Hold up. Let's hardcore up real quick. Slow jams in the middle of the
Melodic script in my cartouche. Roll through with them arches. Hardcore, that's in my shinu. I'm Bennu giving y'all truth. Iron core for meteorite should be chartreuse. Turbocharged the chariot and almost left Ferrari. The queen like almost Nefertari. Immortalize an image, put a figure in a figurine. Him at Netherred, who her? Them leopard skin kilts, yeah, the clan wear 'em. And I turn your knee suit to a fan bearer. Have my servants build a new stadium where I'ma slaughter you, surround your tumor line with boot cranium. Remove the organs we preserved the dead, mummify them, then carve them a reserve head. And all your internet mans who lied with you, died with you, sacrificed their life, afterlife with you. Now I'm all in your spot, and I'm calling the shots while your soul get devoured in the hall of my eye. Ain't a night ballin' or not, care if you ballin' or not. I'm still gonna tell you guys, go to Kenneth like El Shaddai. You ain't no king, You're like Cambyses the Persian who couldn't draw the Nubian bowstring. Melt the jewels in your crown into a gold ring. Refashion them after smashing the whole thing. You're like Pepe II. Too old, king. If you think it ain't black, then let me just check them. I know the syntax. Every morphine and phoneme. The scholarship top line, dog, and the flow mean. And my debater make a fraud, quit the internet. Sometimes I wonder if I saw to fix this window yet. That's what you call repair, re-end. They heard the king of Mijal was a scary man. And he is though. I'm telling you, you better contain him, man. He's busting arrows at all these Mediterraneans, killing them. Now we ain't getting no views. Yeah, them flip-flops look like Tutankhamun shoes. And y'all just wiki, thinking I'm enthused. They turned Egyptian temples to churches and still say, I'm enthused. It's crazy. They just wiki.
All right, we live, hit that link.
They lazy. So they can call me pseudo, it don't faze me. The page monetized, so crushing you clowns pays. Madjai.
That was fun, just a slow listen. You ain't gotta nod your head hella fast every song. I was like, let's kick back on them. Some fireplace music, eggnog music, man. Brandy and eggnog. I got the spiced rum eggnog though. I just went to the store and bought some. Get my grown man on. I kick back and cross my legs the way that you be looking like. His legs crossed like that? African. And I'd be so confident the youngsters be like, he gotta be a boss. Nobody in the hood got that much confidence. Feel me? I think I heard somebody do a song, Legs Crossed Like a Boss. I remember whoever did that song back in the day, shout out. Hit the link so we can keep this going because I gotta go get out in the traffic real quick, but I don't want to shut down the stream. Somebody come on, let's get it popping. And if nobody come on, I can shut it down. But I don't want to though. Oh yeah, so that good guy in the building. What's up with it? Let me hit the link from my phone. So, what's up? You there?
Yeah, peace.
Peace.
Peace, Smash. Peace to the chat. You know what I noticed? When y'all had that discussion yesterday, I noticed that Garfield trying to put you against Assault, but you and Assault agree on like 99%. Y'all just don't agree on can't be in a black notion.
Exactly. Our big debunker was just over what it meant, not whether they was black or not. But they need some backup or somebody that's qualified. So that's why they did Asar a disservice because they made me focus on him like that, and you know, and then now Chief X is doing Ujahu a disservice, trying to pull out his old video showing that Nefertari was black when wasn't black because of this Assyrian symbolism we talking about, which Again, they're not 100% wrong, but we have a lot to talk about in that discussion, and whether dual symbolism is allowed or required, and what is the issue. What is the case that ancient Egyptian would run into when the person they wanted to deify was already black? It's just like the bitterment issue. It's kind of like what I was pointing out. In the old kingdom, if they was already black, you're not gonna find them with no bitterment on them. I shared my book. I was trying to share the link to I thought I went to the video. It's not showing me that link. Anyway. Oh no, I clicked the wrong one. Pardon me. But y'all click that link so we can get this popping. Maybe if I host. Sometimes when I host from my phone, it'll shut down this Zoom. So I'm not gonna host from the phone. But then I won't be able to let nobody else into the stream.
So the person they brung to back up their information disagreed with them. It's cool.
I know, that was so crazy because they didn't even, well, they just was looking for somebody to fight me. You feel me? And yeah, he disagreed. Let me make sure I ain't got my time off. I mean, but they should have knew that. All right, I guess I'm gonna shut it down and come back later because I ain't gonna be able to host it like this. So thanks everybody for tapping in, and thanks for all the love. Let me see. And I'm gonna come back later because I got some stuff to do. So I'm gonna close it down.